The soft glow of smartphones lights up faces across Asia every night, millions swiping, hoping, searching for connection in a disconnected world. It's a ritual now. The quick scroll through photos, the careful messages, the anxious wait for replies. Dating apps promise control over love, a curated destiny at our fingertips. Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm your host, and tonight we're venturing into a world nearly all of us know: online dating. But what happens when the algorithms guiding our hearts begin serving something that shouldn't exist? In Hong Kong's humid nights, from Central to Mongkok, the blue glow flickers behind countless windows, each one a person scrolling, hoping, believing. Yet in this age of profiles and algorithms, maybe we've opened doors we never meant to. Tonight, I'll share 3 recent cases from across Asia where digital romance took a supernatural turn, encounters suggesting dating apps might connect us to more than just the living. These aren't legends or rumors, but documented experiences from ordinary people in the last 18 months. Different apps, different cities, eerily similar patterns. We'll also explore the cultural beliefs behind them, like the Chinese concept of hungry ghosts, spirits with endless desire, now finding new expression in our digital age. In a world of epidemic loneliness and commodified connection, maybe we've created the perfect conditions for something ancient to cross the divide. So dim the lights, check your battery, and prepare to step into the spaces between swipes, where the line between the living and the dead grows dangerously thin. After tonight, you may never see your dating apps the same way again. Meet Mei Lin, 28, sharp-eyed, methodical, and everything from her marketing career to her morning coffee. She lived in an old Causeway Bay apartment, the kind with rattling elevators, paper-thin walls, and just enough space for a fold-away bed, a desk, and a few stubborn succulents. Fresh from a quiet breakup after 3 years, her friends had one refrain: get back out there. The push finally came on a tipsy Friday in Long Kwai Fong when her colleague Sarah shoved a phone at her. Tinder, Bumble, Coffee Meets Bagel, everyone's doing it. Mei Lin approached online dating like a campaign. She spent a Sunday curating photos, writing a bio that was friendly but not desperate, setting her filters with precision. Each night at 9, jasmine tea in hand, she'd scroll through profiles, left for red flags, right for potential, super-like for rare sparks. The building around her carried its nightly soundtrack, children's footsteps above, Mrs. Chen's opera through the walls, the elevator's weary groan in the hall. Safe, predictable, almost comforting. For 2 weeks, everything went as promised. A few matches, some polite chats, even a forgettable coffee date. Controlled, manageable. But soon, Mei Lin would discover that not every match is made by algorithms, and some connections reach far beyond the digital world. 3 weeks into her dating routine, Mei Lin's orderly nights took a turn. It was a humid Tuesday in Hong Kong, air conditioners humming across the city, when a profile caught her eye. David, early 30s, refined features, kind eyes. His photos weren't flashy, no gym selfies, no loud poses, just atmospheric shots, a quiet bar, the promenade at night, warm, amber restaurants. Cinematic, deliberate. His bio felt equally crafted. A marketing professional who loved late-night conversations, hidden corners of the city, and quiet moments in the chaos. It read like her own preferences reflected back at her. She swiped right. The match came instantly, along with a message. I noticed you live in Causeway Bay. There's something special about watching the city from those old apartment windows, isn't there? Mei Lin froze. Her profile never mentioned Causeway Bay. Maybe he guessed from her photos, though she couldn't remember posting any with her view. Their chat flowed easily. Work stress, Hong Kong social quirks, dating app humor. but something was off. Every reply came exactly 3 minutes after hers, not roughly, precisely. When she suggested a video call, he agreed. The screen flickered. His voice was warm, clear, but his image glitched, features bending and shifting like water. "Old buildings," he said, "they don't always handle modern technology well. All that history in the walls can interfere with signals." As they talked, David mentioned unsettling details, the way morning light hit her street, the groan of her building's elevator, even the neighbor who practiced piano late at night, things she had never shared online. For a brief moment, the video cleared. Behind David was an apartment that looked disturbingly familiar, same narrow windows, same wall layout as hers. Then the call dropped, leaving Mei Lin staring at her reflection in the black screen, the room suddenly colder than before. The next night, Mei Lin found herself waiting for David's call, with a mix of anticipation and unease. At exactly 11:47 p.m., her phone buzzed. David appeared, the same flickering, unstable connection as before. But something was off. He wore the exact same navy shirt, sleeves rolled in the exact same way, watch catching the light at the same angle. "You look nice," Mei Lin said carefully. "Thank you," he replied. "Some clothes carry good energy. I like to recreate positive experiences." The words sounded rehearsed. Mei Lin shifted, studying the background. The apartment behind him looked nearly identical to her own unit, same cramped layout, same outdated fixtures. "Where are you calling from?" she asked. "Home," David said. His face glitched into pixels before reforming. "I move around, but I always return to the familiar." The conversation flowed easily, but his responses felt too polished, too perfectly timed. He reacted to her environment in unsettling ways, mentioning Cantonese opera just as Mrs. Chen's TV came on, commenting on old elevators the moment hers groaned to life. "You have good hearing," Mei Lin said. "Every building has its rhythms," he answered. "After a while, you feel like you're part of it." A cold draft seemed to seep from her phone. Even with the air conditioner steady, she shivered, clutching a blanket tighter. "When can we meet in person?" she asked. The screen glitched violently. For a split second, his face aged decades. Sunken eyes, hollow cheeks, before snapping back. "I'm not ready to be seen clearly," David said, voice tinged with sorrow. "But we can keep talking like this. Technology strips away distractions. It lets us connect with what really matters." The call lasted exactly 20 minutes. Before ending, the video cleared for a moment, revealing what looked like the hallway of Mei Lin's own building. Same wallpaper, same fluorescent lights, and in a reflective surface behind him, her apartment number. The call cut off. Silence filled her flat. No footsteps upstairs, no opera from Mrs. Chen, no groaning elevator, just the hum of her AC and distant traffic. She glanced at her phone. In 20 minutes, the battery had plunged from 78% to 23%, despite being plugged in the whole time. By the third night, Mei Lin both longed for and dreaded David's call. Logic reminded her of the red flags, the repeated clothes, the familiar background, the impossible battery drain, but their conversations felt too real, too intimate. At exactly 11:47 p.m., her phone rang. The moment the call connected, her apartment plunged into unnatural cold. Frost bloomed across her window, her breath fogged in the summer air. "Are you somewhere cold tonight?" she asked, teeth chattering. "I'm always cold now," David said softly. "But you bring warmth. So much life." As they spoke, Mei Lin felt it, a presence pressing into her apartment. First the shift of air, then slow breaths at the back of her neck, stale, ancient, wrong. She spun around. Nothing. "David, it feels like someone's here, right behind me." His image froze mid-frame, yet his eyes still moved, tracking her. Then came the touch, ice-cold fingers pressing into her shoulder. Mei Lin flinched, knocking over her teacup. "Did you feel that?" David asked. Sometimes the bond between two people is stronger than distance, stronger than life itself. Her hands shook as she mopped the spill. The touch had been real. "This is too much," she whispered. "We need to meet in person." "Soon," David said. His voice carried a strange finality. "Soon you'll understand. Your building, your life. It's all connected." The lights flickered. Shadows stretched unnaturally, the pipes in the walls whispered. Then the cold fingers returned, tracing her arm, brushing her cheek with terrifying tenderness. "I have to go," she blurted, reaching for the end button. "Wait," David urged. "Don't you want to know where I'm calling from?" The feed cleared, for the first time perfectly sharp. Behind David, in reflection, was her own apartment, the sofa, the bed, the succulents on her window ledge. Mei Lin ended the call with trembling hands, but the cold didn't leave. It thickened. The presence grew stronger, no longer bound by the phone. She spent the night under every blanket, watching her own breath cloud the air, while summer humidity pressed against the glass outside. Sleep escaped Mei Lin. She checked her phone compulsively, torn between blocking David and craving his presence. That afternoon, she even searched her building's history. Just another 1970s block with decades of ordinary dramas. Nothing supernatural. But that night, she tried something new. Screen recording. At 11:47 sharp, David called. "Hello, Mei Lin," he said, voice heavy with sadness. "You sound different tonight," she replied, setting her phone at the right angle. "Maybe because we're close to understanding each other completely." Their conversation flowed as usual, but David felt scripted. His shirt, still the same navy, now looked faded and worn. His hair damp. His eyes drifted. Not at her, but past her, toward something unseen. "When did you take your profile photos?" she asked. His face flickered, older, gaunt, hollow, before snapping back. "When I was happiest, when everything felt possible." "What year is it, David?" she pressed. Silence stretched. In her apartment, she heard footsteps in the hallway, distant voices layered on the air. Finally, he answered, "Time works differently when you're waiting. Inside, it's always the same moment." The temperature plunged. Her thermometer dropped from 24 degrees Celsius to 8 degrees Celsius in minutes. "It's 2024, she said firmly. "Is it?" His voice now echoed, hollow, like from a vast, empty room. His figure shrank on screen, receding into distance. Time is unreliable when you're trying to make contact. Then the call cut off on its own. Mei Lin immediately reviewed the recording. What she found chilled her more than the cold ever had. The video feed's timestamp read March 15th, 2021, 3 years earlier. Screenshots of his face appeared corrupted. Nothing but static and shadow. And in her window's reflection, visible behind her throughout the call, stood a tall, thin silhouette. It moved when she moved, gestured when she gestured. But it wasn't her. David hadn't just been calling from somewhere else. He had been inside her apartment all along, visible only in reflections, present only in the spaces she couldn't directly see. Next morning, Mei Lin felt like her apartment no longer belonged solely to her. Shadows seemed deeper. Reflections couldn't be trusted. The recording from last night played over in her mind. Corrupted images, the wrong timestamp, a figure in her window. At noon, she ran into Mrs. Chan in the hallway, gathering mail. On impulse, Mei Lin spoke. "Mrs. Chan, have you ever noticed anything strange in this building? Cold spots, phone calls, like someone else is there?" The elderly woman's polite smile vanished. "What kind of calls?" "Video calls, from someone I met online. He knows things about my apartment." Mrs. Chan paled. She motioned Mei Lin aside, away from listening ears. "What does he look like?" Mei Lin described David. The handsome face, the flickering video, the navy shirt. With each word, Mrs. Chan's expression darkened. "You must stop those calls," she said softly. "Why? Do you know him?" Mrs. Chan hesitated, then sighed. 3 years ago, a young man lived in 14B, 2 floors above you. Early 30s, marketing job. His name was David." Cold spread through Mei Lin's chest. "What happened to him?" "He was always on dating apps. Neighbors complained about his late-night video calls. Then in March 2021, he took his own life. They found him in that apartment, his phone still open, still showing those apps." The hallway tilted. Mei Lin clutched the wall. "That's not possible. I've been talking to him. We've had real conversations." Mrs. Chan's voice softened. "Or maybe you've been answering an echo, something trying to finish a conversation cut short 3 years ago." She slipped into her apartment and returned with a folder of old building records. Inside was a photo directory from 2021. The man labeled David Chen 14B was the same face Mei Lin had seen every night at 11:47. "The unit's been empty ever since," Mrs. Chan whispered. "No one stays. Strange noises. Phones acting wrong. Cold air. Eventually the owner stopped trying to rent it out." Mei Lin's voice shook. "But he responds to me. He knows things about me." "Does he?" Mrs. Chan asked gently. "Or does he say things that could apply to anyone? Anyone young, alone, and lonely in this city?" The truth hit her like ice. David had never mentioned specifics about her. only broad observations that fit anyone. "Mrs. Chan," Mei Lin forced out the words. "When did he die? What time?" Mrs. Chan glanced at the record. The emergency call came in at exactly 11:47. Armed with the truth of David's death, Mei Lin returned to her apartment, shaken. The man she had been falling for wasn't a man at all. Just a ghost in the wires, a remnant of someone who had died in the same building 3 years ago. She acted quickly, blocked his profile, deleted their messages, deleted the app entirely. For a moment, the air felt lighter, the cold receded. But at 11:47 p.m., her phone rang. No name, no number, just blank. Against her better judgment, she answered. "Why did you block me?" David's voice was clear, wounded. "I thought we had something special." "David, you're dead," she whispered. "You died 3 years ago." Silence. Then the sound of breathing, slow, steady, not her own. "Does that make what we shared less real?" he asked. "Yes," she snapped. "You're not real." "I'm real enough to make you feel less lonely," David said, voice edged with desperation. The call cut, but her phone lit up again, dozens of messages, not from him, but from her. Drafts appearing in her own text folder, time-stamped March 2021. "Please don't leave me alone. The loneliness is unbearable. I just want to finish what we started." She tore the phone apart, battery on the table. Still, phantom vibrations buzzed against her leg. Phantom ringtones echoed from nowhere. Over the next days, it spread. Her laptop created dating profiles on its own. Her work computer reset its wallpaper each morning to David's face. On social media, she posted photos she had never taken, pictures of her laughing in restaurants she'd never visited, sitting across from someone just out of frame. Even when she deleted her profiles, they reappeared, always online now, always filled with intimate details she had never written. Coworkers asked about her new boyfriend. Sarah showed her Mei Lin's Tinder profile, active just 15 minutes earlier. The photos were impossible. Shots of Mei Lin inside her own apartment, from angles no one else should have been able to take. 2 weeks later, Mei Lin fled. She moved to mid-levels, to a modern tower with no history, no lingering obsessions in the walls. Handing her keys to Mrs. Chan felt like escape. But her new phone, new carrier, buzzed the night before she left. A message from an unknown number. "You can change buildings, Mei Lin, but you can't change connections. I'll find you wherever you go." To understand Mei Lin's experience, we need to look at an ancient belief that has shaped Asian spirituality for centuries. Hungry ghosts, or egwei in Mandarin. In Chinese cosmology, these spirits linger between life and death, trapped by desires too strong to release. Traditional stories describe them as cursed beings, endless appetites with mouths too small to ever be satisfied. Their cravings often spring from unresolved love, ambition, or connections cut short. But in a digital age, those cravings may have found new spaces to manifest. Dating apps, designed to spark connection, yet rife with rejection, create the perfect breeding ground for such unrest. Imagine someone like David, alone in a small flat, scrolling through profiles night after night, sending messages that go unanswered, waiting for validation that never comes. That cycle of hope and disappointment is exactly the kind of restless energy Chinese folklore warns can bind a soul to the living world. Some modern feng shui practitioners even speak of digital spiritual pollution, warning that devices can amplify emotional imprints, especially in spaces marked by heartbreak. Dr. Lisa Wong, a cultural anthropologist at Hong Kong University, puts it this way: "We're seeing a new kind of haunting, where ancient beliefs merge with digital behavior. Young people report being contacted by profiles of the deceased, receiving messages from deleted accounts, or matching with users who seem to exist outside normal time. Reports across Asia describe eerie patterns, dating profiles that know impossible details, matches who only appear at fixed hours, conversations that drain devices at unnatural speeds. Tech companies dismiss them as glitches, but many suspect otherwise. What makes these digital hauntings especially insidious is how they begin. Not with fear, but with intimacy. Victims often feel understood, even loved, until they realize the bond is with something that no longer belongs to the living. And that is the essence of the hungry ghost. They don't torment out of malice, but from an endless hunger for what they lost. In David's case, his need for romantic validation didn't end with his life. It simply shifted into the digital realm that once consumed him. As urban Asia grows more isolated, with technology replacing community, the vulnerabilities deepen. Loneliness is not only psychological, it may also be spiritual. What do you think happened? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more true ghost stories from across Asia.